Hi everyone, I'm Mike Totman and I'm one of the 3 members of our school committee from Berlin. Chair Lori Hart has asked me to speak to you tonight. I'm reading from a prepared statement and I'll provide that text along with this video. I'm unable to be at tonight's meeting in person and our school committee meeting is meeting at the same time, but I wanted to provide some food for thought as a resident, parent, taxpayer, and school committee member from Berlin. The school committee is in the process of changing how we communicate with our communities and want to let you know that student enrollment has been a topic of discussion lately. When my family and I chose to make Berlin our home, we did so because of the wide open spaces and low density housing. As we've lived here since 2013, we've noticed more and more building becoming more and more dense. I've learned that when the Berlin Memorial School was built, it was designed with small classrooms in mind. We recently heard from the superintendent and principal on their enrollment, preliminary projections, as well as their input on building upkeep. The committee was told that our elementary school at BMS was designed to be most efficient when it comes to teaching our students with a class size of 18 students per classroom. This is certainly a benefit to our students as smaller classes are easier to focus in and easier to teach to. And our students benefit from additional attention from their teachers. This certainly is an attractive bit of information, knowing that our children will have a lot of attention from their teachers and be in relatively small classes throughout school as families decide to move to Berlin. It was something we certainly considered when we moved here, and I'm sure many of you did too. The issue is that our classroom sizes are no longer very small. This year's kindergarten class in school right now started with 41 students this year, and thoughts for sizes in the future years are much higher. We also learned that there's simply no more physical space in the BMS building for additional classrooms. We're capped at 2 per grade level. If we were to have to add a 3rd room for a particular grade, well, we just couldn't with the existing space is what we're learning. Even if we could, just imagine what that would entail. A 3rd full-time classroom teacher, additional classes to schedule for specials like art, gym, music, library, and technology. Then what happens when that 3rd kindergarten class graduates to 1st grade? Well, then you're going to need a 3rd 1st grade teacher, and so on and so on. Either you're going to have a new teacher or the same one from that kindergarten class, and I am no education expert or elementary ed PhD, but even I can understand it's difficult for a professional teacher to move from grade to grade every year, building new curriculums and content, and it would be almost impossible if we were to have to hire and pay, then let go on a yearly basis a new teacher to keep up with that class as they go through the 6 grades at BMS. Imagine the stress that would cause in the building as well. So it's my belief that as a town, we'll be facing the idea of building a new school or at least adding on to the current one sooner than anyone expected if we don't want overcrowded classrooms. Regardless of the positive or negative thoughts you might have about this, the cost of a new elementary school in this economy in the near future could approach another $100 million. Can we handle this as a town? When considering the future of housing in Berlin, please consider the impact on our schools that more residential building will have, especially if you decide on denser land use or multifamily housing. New homes bring families, families bring more students, and that's great, but more students require more resources paid for by more of our property taxes. If we want to keep our classrooms at a small, manageable, and attractive size, but insist on building denser homes, we're going to have to consider the cost of building a larger school. Thank you.